Welcome back, Coaster fans, and welcome to another video here on the Coaster Corner, where today we'll be diving into my top 10 bucket list coasters in America. I would also like to extend a huge thanks to the Wack Pack for creating my new intro, so without any further ado, here is my top 10 bucket list coasters and the new intro. Before we get started, I must say that none of these rides are in any specific order. Also, that I haven't been to many parks, and these are all in America. So you may have ridden some of these, and you may have not. But now let's start out the list with what was probably going to be obvious to most of you that would be on here. Fury 325 at Carowinds. This is easily said to be one of the best gigas. Most people or enthusiasts say that it is the best giga, and it just all around looks like a great ride. It's not built as much around airtime as it is around speed, but overall this ride looks like an absolute beast. Currently holding the world record for tallest chain lift, there's not much that can go wrong here. Especially being built by B&M, I've heard that it's extremely smooth and provides a really fun ride. Next up on the list is going to be a coaster that many of you may be confused about, and that's going to be Time Traveler at Silver Dollar City. Overall, this park looks like a need-to-go-to park. A lot of people have said that this park is absolutely beautiful, and it also has a decent lineup. However, this ride, Time Traveler, looks absolutely insane. Spinning with launches, is no lift hill, drops off the station with a 90-degree drop, and there's inversions. This ride looks insane. Now, one thing that I have to say is that personally I love these smaller rides that where stats aren't on their side but they're still amazing, and you might start to see that with this list. The next ride on this list is going to have to be Iron Gwazi, the new for 2020 attraction at Busch Gardens Tampa. Big shocker there. This ride looks like an amazing ride. I've been to Busch Gardens Tampa once, however I would love to get back there and pick up the rest of the credits. I wasn't able to the first time I was there, and overall this ride looks like an absolute beast. I've only been on one RMC, and that was Wicked Cyclone at Six Flags New England, but that was enough to tell me that pretty much any RMC is going to deliver, and this one is pretty much twice the height as that one, so you really can't go very wrong there, I believe. But that's just my opinion. And now next up is going to be a ride that I think I'll either love or I'll hate. People say it is alike to being thrown around like a ragdoll, and some people love it, some people hate it. And that's X2 at Magic Mountain, the ride that ended up taking Arrow out of business. Between X2 and Edgenica, everyone seems to absolutely rave about these 4D coasters, which they definitely look insane, and I would love to get out to get there. So I put X2 on this list. I would love to hit Edgenica too, but I don't see myself getting out to Japan anytime soon. Up at number 6 now is going to be Lightning Rod at Dollywood, the terrain-launched wooden coaster by RMC. This is one of the topper track RMCs, so it's not the entire hybrid, so it's still considered a wooden coaster, and I do believe it has the world record for fastest wooden coaster. This ride looks like a shorter ride, where it looks like it is absolutely packed with airtime, and that's what I've heard from it too. It seems like the worst of its mechanical issues are behind it, and now that it should be a reliable ride full of fun rides to be given for the next X amount of years, and I would love to get on it in that period of time. Up at number 5 is going to be the ride that all of you should have anticipated being on this list, since I have yet to be to Cedar Point, and it's going to be Steel Vengeance at Cedar Point. Really not a shocker there. Everyone pretty much seems to be having it as their number one coaster in the world. I haven't ridden many coasters, so it's very likely that it will. Whether it'll be Iron Gwazi or not, I have no idea. It does have the extra like 2,000 or so feet of length extra, which ride time is a lot of a ride, so I don't know how it'll stack up against Iron Gwazi, but I would still love to get to Cedar Point and ride this. Better yet, just to get to Cedar Point at all. Alright, so next up is going to be a wooden coaster, the only Intamin prefabricated wooden roller coaster in the US, and that's going to be the Bull, or El Toro at Six Flags Great Adventure. This ride is just absolutely packed full of negative G's to positive G's. From the cable lift hill, one of the first modern cable lift hills on a wooden roller coaster, to the drop, the next few hills, there's the slower section in the middle, and then the Rolling Thunder Hill. People will not stop talking about the Rolling Thunder Hill in almost all of their reviews. The new ride there, New Jersey Devil, also looks like it should be a really good coaster, so hopefully I will be able to get out there to Six Flags Great Adventures sometime this summer. Sliding in at number 3 is going to be another wooden coaster, the last wooden coaster on this list, and that is going to be the Voyage at Holiday World. One of the longest wooden coasters in the world, and really one of the longest coasters altogether. This ride looks amazing. While compared to El Toro, the hills are long and drawn out, this ride still has an insane ride time and length. It seems to just keep on going. It has something like 7 tunnels through it as it goes out and back, and you go through, have a little interaction with Thunderbird, their launched B&M wing coaster, before going back into the Spaghetti Bowl section and then coming all the way back. And apparently the mid-course will hardly ever run, and if it is, you just gotta come back for Hollywood Nights, where they don't run the trims at all, which would be even more insane if I could go to Hollywood Nights. Overall, this ride just looks like a great ride, and pack on a long ride time on top of that, and you know you got a hit. Coming up next is going to be one of those smaller rides that I was talking about that I just love when the stats are not on their side. And this time it comes in the form of Lightning Rod at Kentucky Kingdom. This ride is, I believe, a Chance Mini Hyper, I believe is what they call it. And it looks insane. Smaller ride, smaller layout, great for smaller parks altogether. And this ride looks like it packs a punch though. I do believe that Chance rides took over Morgan, so it still has that same insane kind of airtime that you would find on a ride like Phantom's Revenge, except now it's packed into a smaller, more acceptable ride size so that more parks can get it, and I hope that parks do, in fact, start to buy these rides. These rides look absolutely insane, and I would love to get out to Kentucky Kingdom and ride Lightning Run. Before I finish off this list with the final coaster, I would like to put in an honorable mention to Terranat Phantasialand. This coaster obviously is not in the US, therefore it's not on this list. However, any coaster enthusiast would love to hit this ride, I do believe. And this ride looks insane. It has a ton of just fast, twisty sections. Honestly, I could make an entire video just going over why I would love to go to Phantasialand. The park looks beautiful, has the best theming, and with their new Vekoma flying coaster going in, I just love to go down there and ride that. Now the last ride on this list is going to be the B&M Hyper down in SeaWorld Orlando, Mako. Every time I hear people talk about this ride, all I hear about is that second hill on the ride where people declare is a 5-second floater airtime hill. I've never felt anything like it, and I would love to go down and ride it. SeaWorld parks are just looking like an absolute insane park to be going to. Hopefully I can go down to more of them. I've only been to Busch Gardens Tampa, and I would love to go to more of them. And this ride especially would make the trip, even if I only gone on this ride. This is a newer B&M Hyper, and it seems like B&M has learned from their previous mistakes, if you want to call them that. and just made an absolutely insane ride. And then it ends off with a little park interaction as it goes over the front gate to the ride entrance, not the actual front gate. And overall, this ride just looks like an absolute have-to ride. So yeah, that's 10 coasters that I would love to hit sometime soon or even in the 2020 season. I could easily make a part 2 to this series. If you would like to see a part 2, just tell me that down in the comments below. But that's going to do it for this video. So if you guys enjoyed, I'd really appreciate if you guys hit the subscribe button, like the video, share to your friends if you really want to. I don't ask that much of you guys. But without any further ado, that's going to be it for today. So this is Coaster Corner rolling on by. Hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.